now starting on my Bible journaling journey. I picked up a bunch of stuff from Illustrated Faith, just the Genesis kit in general, and added a few extra stickers and different things that I thought I might use more often, and some stamps. Those are the first things you see there. Now this is my first Bible journaling page, and I figured I might as well go ahead and record it, because if I like it, I can put it online, and if it inspires someone to dig into their Bible or to go ahead and start Bible journaling, not that mine is going to be any different than the wonderfully talented ladies that you see out there. It's not going to be some kind of groundbreaking new stuff, but you never know. You never know who's going to see what, and anything that I can put out in the world that may lead someone to look something up or begin something wonderfully creative, it's going to make me happy if I can help influence that in any way. So I'm looking at the stickers here, and I chose that little tab, and I'm looking through some of the other stickers, some of the tabs, arrows, different things, and alphabets, and I know I want to use one of the smaller alphabets, just not exactly sure which one I wanted to use, and I ended up going with the darker blue, the navy, or royal, whatever, I think it's navy. I ended up going with that one just because I like the color better for what I was going to do, and I had a vague idea of what I was doing, but wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't even sure of what colors I might be using. I had pulled out a bunch of stuff and ended up not using most of it, but in the end I liked it, so I hope you do too. So here I am pulling out some stickers, those same alphabet stickers, and then thought, wait a minute, before I do all of this, I better put some color down on the back. So I'm going to be using a little palette that I made myself from my Peerless watercolors, and I'm going to be throwing down some yellows and a little bit of orange and some pinks, just more than anything to give a little bit of color to the background, since I know that the actual wording or whatever it is that you want to call it is not going to be super artistic. It's just going to be some hand lettering and some stickers, maybe a few stamps. So I'm adding that there. Now normally I would use a dip pen and nib for calligraphy, but because I'm not 100% sure how this paper is going to react, and at the time I didn't think, hey, I can test it out on the back pages or the a couple of extra pages way in the back. I didn't think about that, so I was worried that I would either tear the paper because of the dip pen and how hard it is, or that I would just royally mess it up and end up ruining the page, and I didn't want to do that. So just like a lot of other people out there, I too am nervous with ruining these pages. Of course, it's not like I'm going to tear a page out if I don't like how it came out, but I want to try to get it as nice as possible, right? Don't we all? So here I'm adding a little more color because I didn't like how confined it really was just to the margin. So I'm throwing in a little extra and trying to figure out as I go along how much water's okay and how much is too much and how much color is okay and what'll soak in. And just trying to lay down a little bit of a foundation and a little bit of fun. Just having fun with it, not really sure where I'm going at this point. I did use the same watercolor to highlight the verse, and I will I will note the book, chapter, and verse in the notes, in the notes section, so that you can go ahead and look it up if you so wish. And throwing in a little purple, I think, down there at the bottom. I didn't think it was deep enough. I guess I wanted more of a light to dark look. So I've done that, and then I start fanning it with, I don't know, a piece of board or something, or cardstock, something like that, and then I realized that I was really going to get nowhere very fast, so I grabbed my heat gun. Just FYI, be very careful with this in the heat gun. I was trying to keep it moving as much as possible, but I kind of started smelling almost like if it was starting to burn a little, so it is delicate paper, so we definitely want to be careful with that, but just a heads up. If you start to smell something, turn off the heat gun before you end up burning your Bible. So I'm using the Illustrated Faith, those little navy stickers that I pulled out in the beginning, and to my surprise and happiness, I stuck it down just a little too far over, and because it hadn't sat there very long, I guess, I was still able to pull it back up. I'm sure if I tried to do that now, the paper would rip, so I wouldn't do that if I were you, but at least you know if you stick it down and pull it right back up right away very carefully, it should come up without a problem. So that's a good thing. Since I'm not using my actual dip pen, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of prepare it with, I don't even know the word, sort of just lay down some guides in pencil so that I can do it in the illustrated face pen. And let me tell you, this little pen, I really like it for this. I'm definitely going to be using this a lot. Also, forgive me, but the actual hand lettering is a little messy. I'm just not used to doing it this way with a marker. I'm used to doing it with the dip pen, and I guess, I don't know, a combination of that and some stage fright, because I'm actually recording something that I'm doing, contributed to making it a little messy. In the end, I'm okay with it. I'm not horrified or anything, but for those of you that actually do calligraphy, you're going to look at this and want to cringe. For those of you that don't, it might look great, so we're just going to go with that. So here I am just continuing on. I think I'm going to add some letter stickers next, but I'm just adding in another word. My grace is, and I think the next word is sufficient. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm stamping that. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it, but I need to, I guess, figure out where my placement is going to be, and it wouldn't have fit exactly if I just went ahead and laid all these letters out on the block at once, or at least as many of them as I could at once, because the spacing would have been too wide. So I ended up, and you don't see it now because I've kind of skipped over that part, but I ended up having to basically stamp these letters all in there one by one so that I could fit everything within that margin and still be able to read it. So I will skip stamping each and every single letter because I'm sure that's not exactly the best to look at. So there, I'm done with sufficient, and I'm going to do a little bit of a border. This was a border, I think, that also came with this alphabet, and I will add in the notes what stamp set that was. I think, trying to remember where I got that stamp. Not 100% sure, but I will figure it out, and I will add it to the bottom of the notes. So here, just adding a little bit more just handwritten stuff. I gotta say, at this point, I'm having a really great time, and I'm really happy with what I'm doing, and I'm so excited that I had the supplies on hand that I kind of just needed all of a sudden. I just knew which way I was going, and I knew that I wanted to use little word stickers, and I happened to have those stickers from Tim Holtz. They worked out perfectly. So I went ahead and added those, and I'm going to add a little outline with my marker, just so that I guess it shows up more. And it's something that I think a lot of people that do the Bible journaling do. They do add that bit of I guess outline around the sticker sometimes, just to help them pop off the page a little bit. Now, just a note, if you see my hands held in funny positions throughout the video, it's because this is my first time recording a video of actually doing anything like this. I've done, I think, one other video of flipping through my planner, which I was standing, so I didn't really need to be able to maneuver my hands very much, just to flip pages. It was no big deal. And a couple of different knitting techniques, and I just did that from kind of more of a side view. But since I wanted to do this more from the top, I had to set up my tripod kind of really close to my desk and leaning in. Oh, sorry, that was my head. And because of that, I kind of had to weave my hand in and out through the legs of the tripod here and there. So if you see that, that's what that is. I don't normally hold my hands in such awkward positions. It's more than anything because I'm trying to get through the tripod without bumping it so that we don't have a super shaky video the whole time. And I think I did bump it a couple times, but, so I apologize for that. Here are, yep, just a couple more stamps. And those are from the same, that's from a Studio Calico stamp. It says Shine, and it's got those little kind of almost like a sparkling, I guess, or glowing lights, kind of little lines above the top, and that little bit of a flourish. It's got that there, and now I'm adding more of those Tim Holtz stickers, and decided that I'm going to keep it just like I did the top and keep them together, and then also outline them with that same illustrated face, black marker type fine tip pen. Really nice pen. I really like it. It doesn't seem to bleed, and it writes very smoothly. It doesn't have any trouble writing over the watercolor or anything like that. And here I'm stamping another word. And again, because the margin's kind of small, I'm having to stamp these letters individually so that they'll fit, because the space that would be between the letters, if I just lined them up on the block and then stamped them together, it wouldn't have fit. It just wouldn't have fit. So there, this is another set from Studio Calico. Can't remember the name of the alphabet right now. Probably should have written all that stuff down before I started recording. But, so I'm going ahead and I'm stamping the solid image first, and then adding, it's like a lined version over the top in black stays on, just to give it a little bit more depth. And now I'm adding in some more hand lettering. And coloring that in, just like I did the other stuff. Just felt like I needed to have a little bit more handwritten in there so that it would kind of balance out what I had done in the top and the middle. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And the word I'm writing obviously is weakness. So it's, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. And I just love that. I love that, just the idea, of course, His grace is sufficient for us, and it absolutely is. I mean, it's more than we deserve. It's more than we could ever wish for. It's more than we could ever hope to get, but there it is, and He's giving it to us, and it's more than enough, and He's telling us that it is. There's just something beautiful in that to me. So here I am adding the tab. A little hesitant because I'm afraid of sticking it on crooked, but there I am adding my tab, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp the date on there just because I want to keep a little bit of a record of when I do my pages. So that's pretty much it for this page, and I don't know, I might record all the pages I do, I might not, but we will see. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.